What's going on, fellow pilots? Welcome to the channel. Shock Radio here, and today we're in the Wild 10 bringing you everything you need to know about building and getting your hangar fully equipped, from trying out various parts before you buy, how to get the parts in your hangar, and even how to paint your builds, put stickers on your build, and what's the difference between shoulders, heavy weapons, light weapons, energy shield, armor, energy weight, all that we're going to cover in today's video. So I appreciate you guys watching. Sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. So I guess we'll cover that first on how you're gonna get these parts. Mainly the daily deals is how I've been acquiring things. Now I do want to note that torsos, generally speaking, are not a very good deal on the daily deals. You can actually do better if you go over to your warehouse and hit the craft button to craft torsos using salvage. If you can get the salvage for these deals, see, this is 60,000 salvage for 6,000 coin. Well, the Raven torso to craft, say that torso, where's the Raven torso? It's a common torso, so it should be the same as a tier, say, is only 16,000 salvage. So not it's not a lot. I don't know the exact math off the top of my head, but it's more worth if you can especially get the salvage for 60,000 salvage for 6,000 coin to craft torsos instead of buy. But for everything else, I've been rolling my coins and using the daily deals to obtain things. Now, just a quick example, because everyone hates lighters. Lighters are meta right now, and you can never have enough of meta. I'm gonna go ahead and roll lighters and see what's behind the lighters, and then boo, we got a railgun. So now I have to wait until the next day to unlock something else, but I'm definitely actually going to grind this game probably once I'm done editing this video, honestly, and grind up for the vortex and the salvage for these daily deals before they reset, because 60k and up deals on salvage, the 90,000 salvage for 9,000 coin, the best deals. The other deals, like for 10,000 salvage or 24,000 salvage, they cost more coin than they're worth. But you gotta do what you gotta do, otherwise you're waiting the full 24 hours for new daily deals. Now, to get coin for these daily deals, ultimately you just play the game. You get a couple hundred coin, 1 to 300, sometimes more coin per battle, and then you also get coin from the job board over here from your daily challenges, and then you got your weekly challenges, and even your tutorials will also give you guys coin. And there are some codes also that you can claim. I'll try to leave them in the description below. You can go to the official website and claim some starter packs and things like that for some coin and paints and stickers and stuff. So of course you have your hot deals here with your warp reels using in-game currency or real currency, but for the most part you're gonna use your daily deals, and then you can craft things in the warehouse as well. But when you want to get these things, oh, and I will say the hardest thing to get in this game so far for me has been shoulders, which is cheapest to get off the daily deals, but obviously your shoulders are hidden behind chassis, torsos. Now there'll always be one salvage deal, 2 weapon deals, and 1 type of gear, but these 2 pieces go between legs and torsos to shoulders, and it's really been difficult for me to get shoulder pieces, so I'm on the verge of just saying screw it and crafting shoulders in my warehouse, but I'm not quite that desperate yet. We'll see. Now, if you are on PC and you're planning on making any purchases in the game, we are partnered with My Games, and for the next 2 months they're providing a generous 25% commission for all partners for PC players that use the link provided in the description below and my code SHOCKRADIO at checkout. This is only good for the first 2 months for the creator program for PC players to use the code SHOCKRADIO. The links will be in the description and in the pinned comment, as well as in my Discord. So if you're a PC and you're planning to make any purchases, I'm not here to sell you on anything in particular in the game, but if you are making any purchases, I would greatly appreciate it if you would use my code at checkout. But enough of how to obtain stuff. Now we're going to go over how to build things and get your hangar complete. It is a bit the UI when I first started this game was kind of weird. Everything's kind of shaded out because these builds are not assembled. Essentially, I can go to tuning in these factory builds. Now, factory builds are just the builds that the developers have let us or put in for us to use. Now if we want to use them, we go to tuning, and then we can install these parts if we have them available. Say install that part, and then that part is installed. But if it's red, it means it's not installed. It could be on another bot, or you might not have it in your inventory. I will say, if you hit if you're on PC, the S key when you're looking at the build, you can actually test anything you don't have in the game by going into the test range. So by theory, when I talk about theory crafting, that is when you're just using things you basically don't have. You're crafting with things you don't have to try them out in your test range to see if it's something that you want to invest in. So we'll be doing some theory crafting and then converting to full builds today. What I would do with these factory builds personally is convert them to customs. So convert them to a custom. When you convert them to a custom, then they'll just appear in this tab, and then you can edit the build as you choose. Now if the build is glowing, that means all the parts are assembled. There's no conflicting issues with the parts being on another build. Now mainly this matters if a build is in your hangar. Now if I want to say use like the Griffin shoulder from this build on a different build, it would essentially remove it from the hangar. So let's just show you it real quick, that if I want to just use one of these Griffin shoulders that's in use. Are you sure you want to install this? This module is used in the Rampant Orochi build. Now if I install this, it'll remove it from the hangar, and then my Rampant Orochi build would appear in my custom list, grayed out just like all these other builds with red parts. So just be careful. It can be a pain in the butt. It's not a big deal if you overwrite one of your hangar builds, but if you're like me and you end up having like just massive amounts of custom builds, and here you got to kind of watch for doing that. So we're going to start building a build, and then I'm going to talk about like stats on shoulder pieces, like how to get heavy weapons, light weapons, all that stuff, how to build 5 weapon builds, all that fun stuff. When you're building with torsos, the biggest factors you're going to consider are its perk for whatever weapons you're going to run to make sure they kind of coincide with the weapon you're running. If it's going to hold a weapon, or if it doesn't have any kind of slot to hold a weapon, you're just going to look at the weight, how heavy the torso is, and the armor it provides, and the perks cooldown. Generally speaking, when you're looking at the torso, when you're looking at shoulders, you're going to be looking at just the armor essentially, or the shield or shield regeneration. Usually things will have higher armor or lower shield, or higher shield regeneration, lower armor type of deal like that, or even a shield cooldown reduction, which is how fast your shield recharges. So your shoulders kind of dictate all about your energy shield. So if you want a high energy shield, you're going to look for shoulders that provide higher shield regeneration, and lower or shield cooldown reduction, higher shield cooldown reductions. Or if you want something that's more tanky and provides more armor, say to use, if you want to use something like the Fenrir torso, for example. For the Fenrir torso, for example, it burns off 28% of your armor. I thought you actually might want higher armor for this, but it actually maybe, because it's burning off 28%, a pretty high chunk of your armor, maybe you would want light armor so that you're not losing as much armor. And say armor with the highest energy shield possible would go with the Fenrir torso, because this perk is burning your armor. So you would want to pick, like, say, shoulders that have, you know, less armor but would have a higher shield and shield regeneration. So pointing that out there. And then the chassis will dictate how fast you go, how much weight you can hold, how much energy your build has. Your pelvic armor, your leg armor is all connected to your chassis and things like that. So I usually, like I said, pick my chassis last, because that is ultimately the weight and the energy. I put my build up top together first, do the gear, and then I kind of go through and see what kind of chassis that I can run with my build. So all in all, that's kind of how you want to pick your armor, things you want to consider when you're choosing your armor and when you're choosing your torso. I think so when I start building, I usually go with thinking about what weapons I want and what torso goes on there, because when you're building your build, legs essentially determine how much weight and energy you can put on a build. So I like to see how much weight and energy I have to work with whatever build idea I have before I put on legs. So I've been trying to mess around with quantum builds. I built a 5 quantum shotgun build, but we're gonna try to build a quantum torso, or an Ares torso quantum shotgun build. We're gonna theory craft it, see how it plays, and then we'll consider also building it and putting it in the hangar as well. So I'm going to use an Ares torso for this particular build because it has a built-in barrier. When the quantum shotguns are reloading, it can absorb damage and also do some shots, deal some damage. Now I know I want 4 quantums, and the Ares torso, I'll show you guys this actually, doesn't have a spot for a weapon on top. And one way you can tell is by that icon there. Like, see, this siren torso has a spot for 1 light weapon. That light weapon icon right above the energy icon says 1 or +1, because my current torso does not have any spot for a weapon on top. So if I use a siren torso, essentially it would unlock a spot for a weapon right on top of my build, that I would be able to put whatever light weapon on top of my build. If I wanted to use a heavy weapon, I would go with, say, like something like the Cyclops here that has the indicator that you can put a heavy weapon on the top of your build. If you can put a heavy weapon, you can put any weapon essentially on there, heavy, light, it doesn't matter. You can tell if a weapon is heavy or light, it'll just say it underneath the name. Like this Magneto says it is a light weapon, so I can put that on top of there. Or where's a heavy weapon? Here you go. Dragoon is a heavy weapon, that works on top of there. But if I go back to, say, the Ares torso, which is what we're going to be working with today, I cannot put any weapon on top, so that weapon slot has been removed. All right, so we're going to go on the shoulders. I just want to point out, when you're building with heavy weapons, you have to look for shoulder pieces that have the heavy weapon symbol. Like the purifier here says +1 for heavy weapons, and you can only put a maximum of 3 heavy weapons on a build. There aren't any shoulders that will house or hold 3 heavy weapons. So considering that when you're making a build, light shoulders can hold 2 weapons. Heavy shoulders can generally only hold 1 weapon, but will have more durability. Now I want to do a 4 quantum shotgun build, so I know I need a shoulder with 2 slots, so it can either have 2 heavy slots or 1 or 2 light slots. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with maybe some medium shoulders, medium weight, medium armor kind of deal shoulders. I believe Typhoon is the lightest shoulder, so maybe like Bulgasari. Let's see if we can get away with 2 Bulgasari shoulders on here. All right, see how that works. And then we can put our quantum shotguns on there. Essentially, and I'm putting all red parts on here just to see how this build plays, essentially. And then if it plays nicely, or if everything works out, then potentially I might throw it in my hangar lineup or install all parts if it doesn't interfere with my hangar. If it interferes with my hangar, then essentially I would just leave the parts either with the blueprint state or in the blueprint state, like that. That way, yeah, it doesn't remove any of my other builds from my hangar. But I've been meaning to use something besides like flames for close range, but everyone's running flame builds. I run all flame builds essentially for close range. And yeah, so here we go. We've 51 weight and 16 energy, it looks like, so far that we've used. Now supply gear essentially will take up a lot of energy, but not as much weight. Some supply gear takes up weight, but the supply gear essentially will take up a lot of energy. My favorite is probably the energy wall, and that one does take up weight, for example, so you got to be careful with that one. Quick repair is really good. Repairs your most damaged armor. Now for this game, I've been finding the sprint reactor or the fuel reserve is actually really nice for using like close range builds or things like that to kind of get in and out close range, or escape. Essentially, get in the fight and you need to get out, use the sprint or the extra fuel there. So maybe we'll try to use the sprint reactor, and then do honestly the nanite repair is so good. If you have a tanky build, you can use this reflector, but the nanite repair will repair all your modules for 2% armor per tick. That's 2 weight and 4 energy, so these get into a lot of energy usage and a little bit of weight usage, but we'll see essentially after we put on this nanite repair what kind of chassis we can put on there, because again, the chassis will dictate what kind of energy and weight we have and our speed, all that good stuff. So real quick, before I go flying through this list, I look at that weight right there. It's red, or the energy might be red for this one, and I literally just go through the list and try to find one. Here we go, that's the first one, Griffin. So this guy, 56 kilometers an hour. I'll try to find the next one. Now for this build, I would want something fast. That's actually, honestly, I want something pretty quick, but that's perfect energy and weight. So that chassis like checks out. There might be something with extra energy or weight, but we'll go down the list and see what checks out. I don't have everything memorized. Now this would be a slower torso. The Ravana torso would be slower, but give me much more armor. Now for a close range shotgun build, I don't think I would want this particular, and then I could actually essentially, it looks like I would have extra weight. I would have 2 extra weight and 3 extra energy, so I could essentially play with maybe the armor pieces. I could upgrade to some heavy armor if I wanted a more tanky shotgun build. So that actually might be an option. We could essentially upgrade both of these armor pieces to one extra weight and throw some more armor on there, but these are very slow legs. So I'm gonna go back to the Griffin because that was just perfect. But you see what I mean there. We essentially, if this doesn't work, maybe this armor setting doesn't work, we could try out the Ravana torso, and if it's not too slow, which it probably will be too slow, we could throw in some extra weight on our shoulders, or maybe even if something requires extra energy, we would have extra energy. Anything else in here that actually checks out? It looks like it's either the Griffin or the Ravana torso for this particular build. So there we have that. Now this is really finicky when you're picking a build, is choosing your pilot. Pilots are absolutely massive, but there's not really a good way to check out pilot talents here. You want to make sure your pilot talent lines up with whatever build you're making. So for this particular build, I installed this to see what it does, but be warned, like if I install, say, this, if I want to look at this hero in this build, it would remove my Iron Scout from the hangar. So what I would do, if before installing a pilot in your build, and you do want to test things with a pilot because pilots will give you extra damage and all kinds of things, is go to your warehouse under the pilots, and then you can actually just show the talents here for whatever pilot you want to look through. This one, Sinclair, is obviously awesome, but so anyway, that'll save you from or removing a build from your hangar just to look at pilots. So just go to your warehouse until they figure out a different way to show pilot talents, and you can click on each pilot and see what their stats are and install them for your build. Now for a shotgun build, I'm probably going to want something with reload speed. This rune's really good for fire, obviously, and I don't have these memorized yet, so we'll just look and see if we can find one. Gear goes on cooldown, that's decent. Artillery and sniper, so Dusty's a good artillery sniper pilot. Gear goes off cooldown. Again, I just want reload speed, which a lot of them are probably already taken because I use reload speed for most of my pilots. So like Vale Silva, for example, I would want to probably use my shotgun build. Shield regenerates, hitting an enemy does not damage you, restores fuel. This also a bullet catcher. If an enemy is within 100 meters, you take 6% less damage, is also very good for close range builds like shotguns and things like that. I don't think I have a pilot not in use to test, so this is the only downside to testing in this game so far, is you can't just put a pilot in your build. Where's the build we were working on? The build we were just working on, we'll have to find it in our custom build list, and then we'll actually show you how to name it. We'll name our build too, so it gives you a random name. Robot Raider, it looks like this is the build that we were working on. Yeah, so to rename a build, which I should name, is going to be Ares Quantum build. We'll call this the Ares Quantum build, that way we'll be able to keep track of it better. Another quick note, you can actually share your builds with your friends by using these codes here. So if I copy this code, put this in Discord, wherever, you can share it with PlayStation messages. When I go to build a robot, I can actually go down here to import, and when I put the code in, it will assemble that build in my hangar, and I can test out a friend's build, all that fun stuff. So just a fun fact, if you do want to share builds back and forth, you can import codes and share builds like that. So if you want to join my I have a Discord, you can post your builds in my Discord. It's a bunch of fun. And here is the build that we are going to be testing, or that we built. We can actually go to the range now and enter the range and test out our build here and see how this 4 shotgun quantum does. A lot of damage, 13,000, 15,000 damage. Good damage, actually might be. And then we have our Ares shield while we're reloading. The one thing with the Ares shield though is it will stop you from fully reloading your shotguns. So maybe you can pop your Ares shield and then use the sprint, the speed to kind of get away, to get out of battle and in battle. But you do have to charge your cycle gear to use that nanite repair. But essentially, I actually might want to try and assemble this build and throw it in my lineup. So let's see if it'll interfere with any of our builds in the hangar real quick. All right, so this is in use. So this gives me a warning. This is in use by Quantum Shoddy, but the Quantum Shoddy build, it's not in my hangar, so it's not actually going to interfere with my hangar at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and install in using the current robot all of these shotguns. All right, oh, I got hit. Okay, whoops. Go. I guess it's making me double confirm, so I just to be safe, so I don't overwrite stuff. Where's the oh, there we go. One more. Whoa, one of these. Just gotta find which one's in use on the other robot. There it is. Boom. So there's our weapons. Now this I know for a fact is going to remove one build from the hangar, Toxic Flame. So let me see if this is going to remove another one. Yeah, so this will remove my Toxic Flames build, but that's fine because it's just one build being removed, and you'll see this happen now. I'll have an empty spot in my hangar where my Toxic Flame build used to be, and this one is now lit up, right? Because it has all the parts. And then where's my Toxic Flame build is right here. This is the build that got removed, and now you see modules required. It looks like things are in use, so we're going to customize, and then you see my 2 cycle gear that I just installed. The other robot is now red, so you know, obviously I can just go in here and fix that if I want to switch builds. Boom, boom. I can just, you know, reinstall them, and then it'll be like, hey, this is in use by Ares Quantum. Do you want it? And you can just go through that again. But we're going to put that Ares Quantum build in our hangar, and also give it a nice paint job just to kind of close out. Show you guys real quick how to do some painting and things. You can go right here to add your build to a hangar, or I believe you can go straight to your workshop, and we'll just find our Ares Quantum, and then we can add it to the hangar just like that. So the multiple ways to add our build to the hangar. And there's our Ares Quantum build. We can paint the build right here through that tab, or of course we can go to the workshop tab, the Ares Quantum, and paint, and then give it a nice paint job. Now factory wraps, you can't change at all. They're the wraps you get from Twitch drops, which I got this Oni Renegade from the last round of Twitch drops, or other things that are happening. The game will give away various wraps and things. Custom wraps are wraps you can create yourself, and it's a whole paint job for your build. You can add stickers, all that fun stuff. So if you want to create a new wrap, we'll just go with like all white, say, and you paint the chassis, paint the torso. Actually, I really like this blue. Let's do everything this blue. We'll do your weapons. Maybe do weapons like a white. Weapons white real quick, or a gray, a little gray, something nice, easy. Boom. Now and we can also name this skin like icy delight or something. I don't know. There we go. And oh yeah, and if you want to edit this skin, you would just go to whatever skin you want to edit and hit the edit button, and then you can reapply the colors. Now up top you do have your stickers and your decals. You can apply wear and tear apparently, which I did not even know was a thing. What? So apparently you can apply wear and tear on your build, which is absolutely awesome. I had no idea that was even a thing. Like literally learning this as I'm making this video is kind of cool. I haven't been huge on stickers yet, so I haven't applied too many, but you can go through and apply a sticker on each part of your build. So whatever you like. Hopefully a shock radio sticker is coming soon. What do you guys think? Get a shock radio sticker in here. In your shoulder pieces, you can actually put stickers on multiple points of the shoulder, front and back, for say the same shoulder, and the sides even. So there's 3 spots to put stickers on, so kind of cool there. But yeah, this is essentially your everything guide to building. All right guys, well that is my everything you need to know or how to build anything you want in War Robots Frontiers. Guys, have fun building. Join the Discord, guys. Share your builds in the War Robots build section of the Discord, guys. We're live every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, streaming with bonuses on Tuesdays and Saturdays, streaming War Robots, cross out, all kinds of fun variety games as well. So hope to see you guys in the Discord. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.